Aloha and welcome. Welcome, everyone, to Breakthrough to You. Discover your true self, a path to self empowerment. I'm honored that you've chosen to spend this time with me. Thank you. Because today isn't just about a learning, it's about transformation. So let me ask you, have you ever felt drained, like you're working hard but not seeing the results you hope for? Or maybe you've wondered if there's more than the constant struggle. You're not alone. Many of us carry stories, voices, and patterns that keep us small. But here's the truth. Life doesn't have to be an endless battle. There is a way to break free. This path is about rediscovering who you truly are, the gifts you were born with, the purpose that lights you up, and the strength that has been within you. It's about stepping into the empowered version of yourself, the one who shows up fully with confidence and clarity. Together in this session, we'll explore what self-empowerment really means. We'll look at how to rewrite the stories that hold us back, how to discern the voices in our own heads, and how to reconnect with the guidance that is always available to us. We'll practice tools like journaling, meditation, and energetic clearing. Simple yet powerful ways to reclaim your sovereignty, to reclaim your soul. Are you guys ready? Let's begin with a little bit of grounding to make sure that we are here and focused in the now. Okay, so take a deep breath. We're going to hold it and then we're going to release it, but release it very slowly. When you release your breath slowly, you're signaling to your body that everything is okay and that you are safe. Okay? All right. Take a deep breath and release. And again. And release slowly. And one more time. And release. Feel yourself in this moment, being here fully with us, being present, listening, paying attention, taking notes, actively listening. Let go of distractions. Open yourself to the possibility of change. Because this isn't just information, it's an invitation to embrace who you truly are, an invitation to break through all the mucky muck, all the noise, all the confusion, breaking through to you, to who you really are, to step into your power, to embrace your true self, and to begin living the life that you were always meant to live. Let's begin. I don't know how you came upon this webinar, but I'm glad that you did. My name is GeralynStJoseph. I am a psychic intuitive and a relationship empowerment coach. Self-empowerment has been a focus of mine, I'll say, since I was in my early 20s. And I have been teaching courses in self-empowerment since 1994. The reason why I embrace this so much is because I've seen the changes that can really help people to become successful, but not just become successful, but also feel it. A lot of people have a sense of self that is not true. It's not who they really are. And it doesn't really allow them to fully express and fully appreciate who they are and what they bring to the table. And because of that, sometimes we need a little bit of help because society definitely is not there to hold us up and help us out. Society seems to be there to have us fit into preconceived molds, let's say. So, to discover your true self, you need to walk the path of self empowerment, or at least that's what I believe and how I feel. This is the way that I have done this. And again, like, are you really tired of feeling drained, like you don't have a clear purpose, or like you're constantly struggling against something? Many people feel this way and they work really hard, but they're not seeing the results that they hoped for, or they're not feeling those results. I think that that's a big part of it, is that we may have good results, but we don't recognize it as such. And that's something we really need to look at. Life can be tough, but it doesn't have to be an endless battle. There's a way to break free from these feelings and step into a more empowered version of yourself. This path is about discovering who you truly are at your core, what your life's purpose is, and the unique talents that you bring to the table. Why were you born? What are you here to do? What is it that your presence in the world helps to light up or inspire? It's about becoming the strong and capable person you were always meant to be, the strong, capable person that you were born. So, what does self empowerment itself, like, what are we talking about when we say self empowerment? Self empowerment is a journey that helps you embrace your true self. It's about moving forward in the world with strength and confidence. It's about finding your place and finding your strength to walk through the world. Like, who are you? Who are you meant to be? And breaking away all the things that have chipped away at your true self, that have put you into a space that you don't really fit into. It's about moving forward. When you're self empowered, you stop feeling weak. You stop being the victim, because that's not really who you are. Instead, you show up as fully yourself, ready to face what comes. This process does take time because you have ingrained habits that you have been feeding, and they've been um, supported and fed for a really long time. So, what you're going to need to do is change that. We're going in a different direction. So, instead of feeding our insecurities, we're going to feed our confidence. It takes time, but it helps you get back to your core, back to the person you were before the world began chipping away at your self esteem and telling you who you were supposed to be. When we're born, we have all of our gifts and our true self is intact. But as we grow, life experiences and the words of others can shape us. People might tell us to be quiet, or to question why are you like that? Why are you doing this? Why do you ask so many questions? What are you trying to prove? And it makes you feel small. It makes you really question yourself. And I'm not saying that any of those questions are invalid, because sometimes if they're taken the right way, it can help you really hone your spirit and really find your core. So I'm not saying not to question anything, but to do it in a way that brings discovery instead of suppression. All these things make us pull back. It can make you feel unheard or make you reactive in ways that are not true to your core nature. The good news is we can undo all this and we can return to our authentic selves. The first step that we're looking at is how do we portray ourselves in our own stories? How do we talk about ourselves? Who do we believe we are? A good way to gauge this is to ask the questions. If you were a character in a book, a movie, or a television show, any character, if you had to choose one that you most relate to, not who you want to be, but who you feel like you are, who is that character? What are their main traits? And where do you feel like you connect with them? Pondering this will help you discern, like, it'll give you a starting point. Okay, where am I? And how am I doing? How am I moving forward versus who am I supposed to be? Or who did I think I was? Who have I been acting like as opposed to who I am, and so on. So once we know our story, then we can rewrite it. And I call this to de-story. And it's not my terminology. I picked it up many, many years ago. I don't remember which practitioner used it originally, but to de-story your life is a great way to disentangle the energy there. It doesn't mean destroying your past. It simply means looking at things from different perspectives. So you're looking at your experiences in a different way. And it can help us to resolve some issues from the past and even resolve relationships as we de-story them. Because oftentimes what we do is we're taking things only from our point of view. And oftentimes, we don't have the full picture. We don't really know. And especially the less communication there is, the less that we know what's happening, and we make assumptions. And we make those assumptions based on how we feel about ourselves more than anything else. So that's something that we really need to unravel in order to create a more structured, more, I don't want to say powerful, but a fuller figure of who we are. And to remember too that your personal story is made up of things that have happened to you, or maybe things that you feel that you've done right or wrong or indifferent. But it's all about the past. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is what we need to take into the future. They can be fascinating and cool to talk about, but it's not necessarily who we want to carry forward. So it's something that we need to really look at with a broader lens. And to recognize that this is something that happened, not necessarily who we are. Think about past events not as a victim, but as a character in a play. You played a part in this particular situation, and to broaden your lens to see, okay, what other parts were being played? Maybe I was the victim in my own play, but maybe I'm the villain in somebody else's. Like, how do others in this scenario see me? How was my behavior? How was I acting? But to pull out that lens and see things from a broader lens will help you to put things in their proper place. When you get caught up in a story, you might believe that that's all you can ever be. You might believe you've reached the pinnacle of your success, if there is any success. But your story is only a very small part of who you are. By pulling apart your experiences, you make room for growth and change. It helps you see that your past does not define your future. It also helps you pull away the things that weren't beneficial or weren't helpful, and be able to look at things in a different way. You can create building blocks instead of stumbling stones out of your experiences. So, how do we do this? What exactly, what is the method? How do we go through? As I said, it does take time, and I do like to work with small groups. So I'll take small groups of people and we'll go through this. That way we can talk about each lesson as we go through it each week. Or you can do it in your own timing. There's a web series of Path to Self-Empowerment. But it is often good to be able to bounce things off of other people, because they can help you see where your blind spots are. To truly, truly embrace who you are, to really open up and see all of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you have to be absolutely honest with yourself. And that's something a lot of people have a problem with, because there's no one that we lie to more than ourselves. We will convince ourselves of things. We will fool ourselves into believing things that make our life easier or seem more dramatic or make us feel better. This dishonesty blocks our path to self-empowerment, because in order to truly be empowered, we need to relate to the truth. We need to see it. We need to feel it. We need to be responsible for it. The first thing that I will ask you to do is to pay attention to your self-talk. Most of us have internal conversations, whether it's silently in our heads or we talk out loud to ourselves. And I know not everyone has that. There is a small percentage of the population who doesn't think to themselves in this way. There are other things that you could do if that is something that is difficult for you or something you're not familiar with. There are some people who can't imagine, they don't have a mind's eye, but they have the voice. So by whatever way you do this, you can look at that, even if it's just like all of a sudden there's a heavy feeling when you're going through different things. But that's a whole nother kit and caboodle, so to speak. So what I'm asking you to do is listen to the voices in your head, if you hear them. And you'll notice that there's different voices. Not all the voices in your head are you, which can be a little scary, but oftentimes some might be mean or cruel. They might tell you that you're not good enough. They might say you can't do this. What makes you think you could do it? Who do you think you are? And that kind of thing. The negative voices often come from the past. And when they do come from the past, you'll notice that it sounds like things that maybe your parents said to you, or a teacher said to you, or a bully said to you. It could be an old employer who was critical, or a teacher who put you down. Listen to what is being said, acknowledge what it is, and figure out, like, where did that come from? The figuring out where it came from is probably the least important of those things, but it's seeing that it's there, it's acknowledging it. That's going to be your first step to getting rid of it. If you know who it came from, it's a great practice to journal that and write it down. Like, oh man, like the worst voice in my head is my mom was so critical. And I keep hearing the things that she said to me as a kid. I need to get this out of my head. Or whatever it is. But to really discern what is not yours. So those voices are not yours. It may sound like your voice. It's not your tone. It's not your diction. And it is something that is being repeated from the past. Of course, if you believe in energetics, it could be coming from outside of yourself. You might be picking up on how somebody else feels about themselves and taking it on as your own. So just being aware of what is not actually yours is the important part of that. The second voice that you want to listen to, or that has a place, is your guidance system. Whether you believe in God, Jesus, Allah, or guardian angels, or however you want to look at that, there's usually a voice of spirit that is within you that helps to guide you and give you good advice. In the class, we go through different things that you could do to help you to discern that, and also to help you like piece out what is actually coming from spirit, what is actually coming from you, and what is just noise. When you hear negativity, take action. Take action by telling those voices to be quiet, buzz off, go away. Or you might answer them. You might be feeling like maybe it's saying, oh, what makes you think you could do that? I know I can do that. So answer it in a way that you empower yourself, where you're showing your confidence and you're showing your strength. You can dismiss what doesn't serve you. And as this becomes more of a habit where you're dismissing these voices, they get quieter. I can't say that they ever completely go away, because they will come up from time to time. But as long as your knee-jerk reaction is to be like, go away, I'm not going to listen to you, you are building a stronger sense of self, and you are really honing your courage. You're becoming stronger and clearer about who you are, where you're going, and what you want to be. I mentioned journaling. Journaling is really a powerful tool on this journey. You don't need to be a writer to keep a journal. It doesn't have to sound like Stephen King wrote it. Oh, I hope it doesn't sound like Stephen King wrote it. It's not about the story. It's about taking a few minutes every day just to jot down a few notes, or maybe pages, however you feel that flow. It really helps in two ways. The first is that it helps you gain perspective, because as you're writing things down, and or even if you have to speak it into your phone, if you have a problem with writing, or you're typing it into your computer, however it is that you're journaling, you may notice different details that you kind of have set aside, but as you're telling the story, you're like, oh, I remember that this happened too. And that can change things. Also, look at your thoughts and feelings and try to do so from an outsider's point of view. Like, tell yourself the story as if you were not there. This process helps you release thoughts and energies that you might not otherwise let go of. There is plenty of evidence out there that journaling is very healthy and can really help you deal with trauma. It can help you remember things that you want to remember things. It can help you restructure how you remember things in your brain. So it's good in that way. It's also great to track your progress. Remember in the beginning how I was saying you feel like you're working so hard and nothing is happening? Do you really know whether or not that's true? I mean, think about it. Think about where you were a year ago, 5 years ago. Are you really still in the same cycle? Are you really still in the same place? Have you made no improvements at all? Most of us can look at objective things like, well, I'm making more money now, or I live in a nicer house, or I live in a worse house, and look at it that way. But if we have a journal, we can see, oh, this is how I was thinking and feeling then, and I think and feel much clearer now. So it works in that way. And also, so that when you're feeling like that, like nothing is working, I'm not, you could look back and see like, oh, I have made a lot of progress. I'm not back there. The other thing too is that if you do feel yourself backsliding, and you do look back thinking like, wow, I'm feeling the same way again, what got you out of that the first time? And then tweak it so that it sticks. Okay. Another part of this is to connecting more with your body. So become more aware of your physical presence. A lot of people, especially those of us who have like chronic pain issues, we don't want to be in our body. We want to be in our heads. We want to be anywhere else but in our body because our physical body is not serving us the way we want it to. But truth is, our body is telling us a lot of information all the time. And if we listen to it and became more familiar with our physical selves, there are things that we can do to help ourselves moving forward. Your body will react to things before your mind even knows it's there. We oftentimes will dismiss our physical symptoms, or we will just react to things and not really understand why we're reacting. What you're going to be asked to do is to really sink down into your body and ask questions like, what is triggering me? Like, why is all of a sudden my solar plexus feel tight, or I feel like somebody just punched me in the stomach? Like, what is going on? Where in my body do I feel whatever the sensation is? Is it a deep feeling or more of a surface feeling? Do I feel threatened? Is this anger? Is it a sense of injustice? What is happening? And to go in through the layers, your body can help you suss all that out depending on where the feeling is emanating from and exactly how deep it is and what it's doing. All these insights, they start with being aware of your physical body. Being aware of your body also extends to sensing the energy around you. We all have an aura. Again, this is something some people may poo-poo, but it is something that is measurable. Some people's auras are very tight to their body, but most people, if you're even semi-healthy, your aura extends out 3 to 6 feet. This is a real thing. We are electromagnetic beings. We have a charge. We have that which animates us, which is our soul, which is light, it's movement. So becoming aware of what is around us and how our body is reacting to what's around us will help give us a clue as to what we need to work on or something we need to notice. So if you notice your body tense up all of a sudden, you can then push out into the energy and feel, why is my body tensing up? What is going on? Is it in front of me? Is it behind me? Am I being threatened? Like, what is going on? What is my body reacting to? And as we learn that, it helps us to discern so many other things. And it does take time sometimes to really sink in there and for it to become second nature. Again, it is our habit for most people to ignore their body or to be like, oh, I'm just being silly. Oh, there's nothing really going on. We need to make it a habit in the other direction to really pay attention. Okay, what am I reacting to? Why am I reacting to this? How deep is it? Where is it coming from? Is this something I need to deal with internally or externally? Right now, I notice that there's a lot of people online who are telling women, listen to your gut, because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of stories of women who have a gut feeling and either they pay attention to it and avert some kind of danger, or they don't pay attention to it and end up in a dangerous situation. So your gut, your intuition is telling you something. We need to learn how to communicate with that and how to listen. Another thing we'll be doing as we start to understand energy is to understand how we are connected with other people. In what ways am I connected with this person or that person? Is this a good connection? Is it a bad connection? And when we have connection with other people, even if it's light, like smiling at somebody and their face lighting up, we create what's called an energy cord. And I do have video specifically on that. And I do have a specific video on cord pulling. So energy cords go between you and another person. And depending on what your relationship is, it will form, it'll be real small, it could be real big, it could be attached in the heart, in the solar plexus, it could be attached in your head. They could be anywhere. The smaller ones, the ones that are more wispy, that are more like, oh, you're just walking down the street, you locked eyes with somebody, you smiled, and made their day. That was a small connection for you. When you are in love with somebody or a family member or something like that, the connections are stronger and deeper. Each connection is unique. So when I talk about this, the energy cords, there's energy that flows through them. And I like to see it as the symbol of infinity, where energy goes back and forth. And if it's a relationship or a connection that is healthy, the energy goes back and forth. If it is unhealthy, it'll go all in one direction. So it could all go towards you or it could all go towards them, but it's not even. It never evens out. All relationships at one point or another will go more towards one or the other because you need something more, or they need something more. But I'm talking about where it consistently is only going in one direction. That's very unhealthy. When this happens, we need to pull cords. Some people call it cutting cords. I call it pulling cords because I feel that you need to get the entire cord out of your physical and energetic systems so that you're clean and clear. And if you want to reconnect, you're reconnecting in a new way with a new connection. It helps you get rid of things like resentment. It helps you reset the energy so that you communicate better. As I said, I have a whole video just on that. So I'm not going to go into that too much. But it is something that I highly recommend when you are having problems with a partner or a family member or somebody that you cannot get out of your head. Pull cords on them. If you pull cords on them, it should help you dismiss them and help you literally get them out of your energy field. Okay. Taking your power back. So, and this has a lot to do with the energy cords also, or energy in general. We give people the power to hurt us. If you think about it, people that you have a relationship with can emotionally hurt you a lot more than somebody you don't know. Now, caveat for that is some people are really ultra sensitive, or even if you're getting piled on by strangers, that can affect you too. I'm talking about day-to-day occurrences. I'm not talking about like being online and having a bunch of people say disparaging things about you. When you're self-empowered and you know who you are, even that kind of barrage will have less of an effect, and you could do something about that. But what we're talking about are our personal connections right now. If a stranger says something unkind to you, like they walk up to you, they tell you that you're just ugly or something like that, it doesn't hit as hard as your partner saying the same exact thing, because you've given your partner or your friend or your family member the power to hurt you. You give their opinion some sway over your life. You look at them for inspiration or for validation. Not everybody deserves to have that power, and not everybody deserves to have that power in the same way. So, for instance, if you have a family member who is always making disparaging remarks against your partner, but none of them feel very true, then maybe you shouldn't listen to them. But maybe they're really great at giving you advice about your career. So different people have different things that they're good at, and not giving them a blanket, oh, I'm going to give my power to you so you can do whatever you want, and I'm going to take everything you say to heart. The best way to do that is to chunk it down and be like, okay, you're good at relationships, you're good at the work stuff. I'll listen to you when it comes to whatever X, Y, and Z, but not A, B, and C. We have that ability to pick and choose. And if we give people the power to hurt us, we can also take that back. We can also choose not to give them that power. We can always choose to take that away from them and make it so that their remarks, energy, whatever, doesn't affect us the same way. That is a cognitive and emotional and an energetic thing that we would be working on in the self-empowerment sphere and with coaching. So let's see. Another method that we're going to use that we delve into, I'd like to utilize, is meditation. Now, I hear you. Some people think meditation is sitting and for an hour at a time. I cannot do that. I don't know about you. My brain doesn't work that way. There are hundreds of different types of meditation. Hundreds. Finding the type of meditation that works for you is what you need to do, because meditation helps you to focus. It gives you a sense of centeredness. There are so many positive benefits to meditation. I could do a whole hour on it. Knowing that and knowing yourself, what types of meditation would help you get into the zone. And what does getting into the zone look like? So what I do, because I move around a lot, I don't know if you notice that, but I move around a lot. And I have to move. Like I feel like my body wants movement a lot. Things like where it's rhythmic and it doesn't require a lot of brain power: washing dishes, folding clothes, sweeping the floor, scrubbing the tub. All these are times when you could put your body on autopilot and you can meditate and you could focus on something, or have the music in the background if you want music, or maybe do a guided meditation. For myself, I know guided meditations work very well for me, or at least having something rhythmic. I started out meditating when I first learned how to, listening to the ticking of a clock. And then it was looking at the top of a flame. And then I moved into different types of meditation. And I've discovered and tried many different types. And you need to figure out what works best for you. That's also part of this, is taking the initiative and looking at different things. When we do self-empowerment classes, one of the things I like to do is I present, okay, here's all these different options. You can try all of them and figure out what works best for you. Some people don't like that. Some people want to be told exactly what to do. I am the wrong teacher, the wrong guide, the wrong coach for you if you want somebody just to tell you what to do and not someone who's going to allow you to explore and help you to explore to find what works best for you, as opposed to a cookie cutter kind of a thing. Nothing I do is cookie cutter. So just be aware of that if you are considering working with me. Okay. All righty. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is, like I said earlier, there are some people who do not think in words. Some people think in images, or it's different, it's sensations. Like we all perceive in different ways. And it just has to do with our brain structure and the way that works. Some people can't see, they don't have a mind's eye. About 10% of people don't visualize. So meditation doesn't, even if you're doing a visualization or a guided journey, it's not necessarily that you're going to see everything in your head. They may be pointing at painting a picture for you, but it could be more somatic for you. You might be able to feel things. And when I do my guided meditations, especially the longer ones, what I like to do is I bring in all the senses. So we'll talk about, like, you feel the heat of the sun on the top of your head. You feel the breeze caressing your arms. You smell the sweetness of the wildflowers in the field. Um, you are in water and you feel yourself floating, like different things like that, to try and bring in the different senses. You hear the birds, you see the tree, you feel the heat, all those different things, so that it helps to bring the person fully into the meditation. And whatever it is that sticks for you, or that means the most for you, that's what you'll get. Um, and again, finding what works for you is the most important thing, not necessarily what anybody else thinks is the best. It's what works for you. To conclude, since I think I've been talking your ear off long enough, becoming self-empowered is about taking responsibility for who you are. It means taking your power back that you've given away to others and setting healthy boundaries. It involves listening to your inner voice, or inner thoughts, or inner whatever, keeping the things that uplift you and quieting those that do not. You take what resonates, you dismiss what does not. The path is not about pretending that you're perfect, because none of us are. And it's not about never having a bad day. That happens. We're human. It's about being responsible for your needs and ensuring that they're met, instead of blaming others for your needs not being met. In any healthy relationship, whether with parent, partner, friend, or coworker, everyone deserves a voice, and their needs should be balanced. So your need versus my need, there should be balances there. But you should be able to say what it is you need, to verbalize it, to show it, to express it in some way. And I think a lot of us, that's one of the biggest things that we tamp down on. I know for myself, growing up, it was because I didn't need anything, then I was the good child. I didn't need anything, so I got to do different things because I didn't ask for anything. That doesn't really work well as you get older. People love it that you don't ask for things and that you're always there to step up and do things for them. But for yourself, it's the lack of balance that's there. And it leaves, it often leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So some of the steps that you could take today, walking away from this webinar, you could listen to your inner voices, learn the difference between your true self and your negative self-talk, and dismiss the self-talk. Start journaling, even if it's just a couple words a day, so you could see the progress and you could gain perspective as to where you really are. Be aware of your physical body. Understand how it reacts to triggers. How do you physically react? Explore pulling cords, which is an energetic practice. Again, on YouTube, if you go to my channel, GeralynStJoseph, you'll see that pulling cords is one of the processes that is up there, and it's for free. Practice meditation. Find a form that works for you. You may want to choose something active. You may want to keep things shorter. A lot of my meditations are 20 minutes and under, or 15 minutes and under. So you may want something fast. I've had other people say that they want a meditation that's no less than an hour. So it depends on you and finding what works for you. So try a couple different things. Don't give up. Allow yourself that comfort to try several different things. The journey helps you discover your innate strengths and your talents. It helps you to move past feelings of sluggishness or a lack of purpose and not worthy. Embrace who you came to be. Be ready to break through to you, to be who you are meant to be, that unique gift that you bring to the world. If you're ready for a deeper dive into self-empowerment, you can contact me. I specialize in relationships, including your most important one, your relationship with yourself. You can learn more about my work in programs like Breakthrough to You, a 6-week program, by visiting my website at Relationship Coach, G as in girl, S as in Saint, J as in Joseph.com, relationshipcoachgsj.com. Or you can reach out to me via email at loveyou, with a U instead of spelled out, love you, at relationshipcoachgsj.com to see if we're a good match to work together. Thank you for your time. And even if we don't work together, I hope you start your journey back to you. Mahalo and blessings.